Welcome to the Unfinished Work Show with Mike Lake. Hopefully, y'all can hear me out there. Um, I had a little tech issue going on, and you know, them's the breaks. Not in my regular studio, new Wi-Fi situation, but hopefully, we got it all corrected. And as far as I could tell, looks like we do. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Hit me in the comments. Give me a thumbs up or something. Let your boy know that you're out there. So the one interesting thing I've found so far in the minute or two I've been talking on this podcast is that when you're doing a solo pod, there's no feedback. So light the comments up. Matter of fact, while you're at it, hit a like. What they say? What's the YouTube thing? Hit a like for the algorithm. Am I one of those guys? I turn my hat to the back and be that guy. But no, seriously, do me a favor and hit a like, hit the share button, send it to somebody who might need this. But I guess I will start back from the beginning since the first one wanted to. What they say in church, that's the devil. The devil try to stop me. Um, but still not sending any comments, so I'm gonna keep talking in the blind, as they say. So the Unfinished Work Show. Welcome to the Unfinished Work Show with Mike Lake. This one is titled "Holding Myself Accountable" because the entirety of what I y'all last is holding myself accountable. And nobody made me do this. Michelle didn't threaten me. My mom didn't threaten me. Nobody ran up and was like, "Yo, get it together." It's more of a. It's probably about time, and not even that I was slacking. It's just about time to really dial it in and and turn it up to the next level. So, as I recap, I want the show to be for my son, a conversation for a young man such as yourself, to let him know there's other people out there still working, still grinding. Grinding is such a cliche word, but still pushing forward towards their goals, even if they miss or even when they miss. Um, because like the great Kobe Bryant said that he never nervous when he's shooting because a missed shot just mean you gotta try harder, and he's not worried about missing because you either win the game or you lose it and you learn something from it. So we're gonna push forward. Our work's not done here. I'm almost 40. That sounds crazy to say. Uh, but I'm not even there yet. I got a lot more I want to accomplish before I even get to the 4-0, but even as I hit it and move beyond. Like I was saying, prior to the whole tech thing, that let me get this on this and put this here. That essentially, since the last pour up, the last episode of the pour up, you may be able to go back there, take a look. You might even see it happen live in action, and this has nothing to do with my co-host, CP or, my former co-host, Steve Cash, which, by the way, salute to both of them. We all still working. Steve Cash is over on Cash's Corner. Make sure you check him out, and CP is doing Cynically Nuanced News. Find that on wherever you I don't know, he promoted that. But we all still working together. We all still talking behind the scenes, and hopefully they jump in the chat and say what up or something. But anyway, like I was saying, in the last episode of Report Up, I was feeling real convicted in the moment of just like, what am I doing here? What's the point? I love that show. I love what we were doing. I love what we accomplished. We did a bunch of stuff, bunch of live. We attended live shows. We did live podcasts. We interview any and everybody who was doing something in the Tampa area. We were reaching people. People wanted to come through. They wanted to sit in and have a drink and have fun, but in the moment, I kinda just lost its luster, just because I felt myself moving away from what we were presenting in that format. Something I talked to CP about, at great length, because I didn't really wanna end, um I really didn't wanna end my baby. I started it. I raised it up, and I had the help of my homies and a bunch of collaborators throughout the years, and it just felt odd to end it, but when you ain't in it no more, you're not in it, so I got out. It still kinda pains me to say because I really enjoyed doing what we were doing over there, but when you move on, it's time to move on. Why waste time helping to build something that you're really just not feeling anymore? And, had it continued and pushed on without me, I would've been fine, but with Steve jumping over to Cash's Corner and CP wanting to do different thing, with Cynically Nuanced News, it it was probably just that time for us to just, you know, send it off, say deuces, and keep it moving. Uh, yep, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm getting different reports of different stuff. Some people say audio, some people say Wi-Fi. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out in the long run. But I'm gonna keep pushing through and keep talking. So like I was saying, I want the Unfinished Work Show to be a love letter to my son and to the sons just like him. Steve's in the background turning up. But the point is, like I was saying, because when men are not on task, then everything else goes into chaos. And it's about holding, like I'm holding myself accountable. It's about you holding yourself accountable. Are you really doing what you need to do? Are you really on task with your own plans? I've talked to plenty of people, especially in the last year, where the conversations that we're having are dope, and everybody's saying like, "Yeah, rah, rah, let's go, let's do it." And when it's really time to what up, Hernan? When it's really time to get to work and do the work, they ain't really there. They're not showing up. Um, and that's not like I'm salty or anything. It's just more wanting more for my guys, wanting more from people like myself, wanting more from people like my son, and even like my homie over here who pulling up. You said that. But like I was saying, when men are off task, then there's chaos. It's shown time and again, up and down, left and right. You see it in movies, you see it in TV, you see it in the Bible, you see it everywhere. That the general community can't function when the leaders aren't doing what they're supposed to do. And I know everybody's not a leader. I might not even be a leader. I've, I've led companies that didn't work. I've tried things that didn't work, but I also keep pushing. And I know that when I make a plan and I consult with my closest people, such as Michelle and family and homies, my church brothers and everybody alike, that I'm not just talking for nothing. And they would tell me if I was just making up some nonsensical plan. But that's kind of the point, is building a community, is coming together, is working together to push toward our goals, and if we all hitting our goals, then we all just push this thing forward. Or you could do your own thing and go off your own way, leave the community and leave it to whatever is left to. That's where we get, um, the nonsense. I don't know how else to call it. I don't wanna judge anybody or say anything, but the nonsense. Y'all know the nonsense, robbing and this and that and drugs and yada, 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 so but I found especially in the last year, I mean, I found it my whole life, it's something my dad taught me, was that if you what they say, "Idle mind is the devil's workplace," that's the biblical version, but generally put, when you let your own devices, when you given the choice, you're gonna do the stupid thing, so keep yourself busy. And that's something I taught my son, and not saying that he always listened to it, not saying I always listen to it, but the point is, if you're in community, you got people holding you accountable. So when you're not holding yourself accountable, then you got them holding you accountable, and you should listen to that. So ideally, the unfinished work, uh, community will be a group of people who can talk openly about what they're trying to do, maybe get some help, network, get some people to say, "Hey, I tried that," or, "Here's something I found." And this work that didn't work, just, facilitating conversation of group motivation and group accountability. But that begins with, like I said, the title is holding yourself accountable, like I'm holding myself accountable. So with that said, I don't have an apology or anything. The accountability of myself was that I ended the Pour Up and Shift Division Media effectively. I wanted to move in a different direction, and maybe other co-hosts will have a different story. Maybe they left because of something I wasn't doing, and they can add to this accountability and say, "Hey, Mike, here's where you failed." Overall, I think we succeeded in the general mission, but the ultimate mission was to get to a certain point, and we didn't quite hit that, and I'm okay with that because well, 'cause like I said, the work's not done yet. We're not It's unfinished. We got more to do. So I wanna, just give y'all that background story. That's what happened with the Pour Up. I never got a chance to say it on air. Um, I've talked to a lot of you off the side and throughout the day, and people text. People even was asking recently, like, "When y'all gonna get to pour up that Kraken?" A couple of instant messages from people that we just met along the way. Excuse me. Um, we just met, along the way. So, anyway, moving over to the next point. So I'm supposed to have some moderators, and the chat's not really popping like I want it to, but as we grow, I know it's the first episode, and I know I just started marketing it today, but that, the chat would have more activity going on for the moderators to do what they do inside of there. I salute the for being here. I think, Jerry's watching from work, and my brother should be hopping on at some point. But for all of y'all out there, this is a community effort, and I already know how it is. Y'all know how it is. The internet, the trolls will come through, the spam will pop up. The goal would be for all of us to police that nonsense and keep the lines of communication open for people to be able to share what they got going on without the nonsense. Um, and at some point, even this episode, I am gonna if anybody wanna hop in and join the conversation, I'm more than willing to send a link, let you pop in. What up, Steve? What up, Cash? Let you pop in and, say your piece or whatever, share, talk, debate, whatever y'all wanna do. I want this to be a collaborative effort. I know this is a podcast. Most podcasts, you sit there, listen, talk at the radio anyway. So I figured I'd live stream it and keep the conversation open for everybody who wanted to potentially converse. And if you come in here with the nonsense, then we'll just bounce it out like Jazzy Jeff and keep it moving. Uh, so, like I said, unfinished work is about motivation and accountability and working towards your goals. Where the title is just a little insight. I got, working on the final of the logo you see behind me. But where the title come from, an unfinished work is a work of art that an artist didn't finish. Like, those guys like Picasso or whoever, the sculptors, the painters, those people. When they didn't finish the work of art, they may have died or something may have happened where they couldn't finish it, like a war. Those pieces become worth something to the art community. And I thought it was dope that I felt like I still had more work to do, and that even on myself, that, like, from a creator's perspective, like, my creator's not done working on me, so I'm gonna finish work, and that you are too, that wherever you at, whatever you doing, even if you jump in here somehow, you a millionaire like Steve Cash, you still can make 2 million, and then you could push it to 4. But everybody ain't there yet. Even if you are there, the richest people in the world still trying to make money, so if it's about money, make your money. If it's about fitness, hit your targets. If it's about focus, discipline, if it's about uh, getting off the pornography or the weed, as Stephen A says, whatever you trying to do is going to help you get to where you actually trying to go and keep the distractions to a minimum. Now, if the distractions, and by definition, a distraction can't be your focus, but if what I would call a distraction is your focus, then by all means, have fun and have at it. But I can't say that we all generally know by definition of what distractions are, and they're probably the same for a lot of us. Um, Distractions be distracting, I guess. I don't know how else to put that. So yeah, I guess I can move on. Some things I've been working on within myself is, and I came up with this as the principle of FACTS. Everybody likes FACTS, FACTS. Within that principle is an acronym, and this acronym has kept me on task. And if I had to give it a date, I would say since July. But I mean, this is something that's always kind of been around, been there, football here and there, with raising military dad. But I put it in order and I made it a thing so I could put it on shit. But no, really, so it could continually remind me. It's just an easy way where I'm a logical person and I know what facts are, and I know F is faith. My faith has been emboldened. I've been diving in, especially like even with the homie sitting here, Bible studies and debates and conversations and those kind of things on building that relationship with Jesus and God myself. But even if you're not a believer, faith is what you believe in. What do you believe in? Everybody has like a hierarchical system. Some people believe, what is it, the strongest survive. It's the fittest or whatever it is. Survival of the fittest. Some people believe that, they can do anything, and some people believe they can have anything. Whatever it is that you believe in, your faith, the thing that controls you, I know what mine is. Um, the thing that governs you, not controls you. The thing that governs is probably the best thing that's gonna keep you on task. It's your North Star, to use a cliche phrase. And I like I said, I know what mine is, and I know I don't have a Bible in this office, but it's in the living room that when I start to feel the distractions coming and they show up, I'm a man for one. Look, man, I got a Bible right here. See, you asked for the weapon, he got the tool right here. Appreciate it, bro. But I know when the distractions start coming, I know whether electronically in an app or physically my actual Bible or whatever I'll be doing, I just get in that and it keeps me on task because there ain't nothing in there that's gonna distract you because that's the focus. The A is accountability. So after faith comes accountability. That's using your faith or whatever you believe in, whatever rules you set for yourself to hold yourself accountable and hold the others around you accountable. And the way that looks is a tedious game, especially for somebody such as myself as a Christian, because there's like what's the word? Stigma about the way we conduct ourselves as a community, not me personally. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I think even if you're not a believer, you know what's right and wrong. You know when you're doing something that don't feel right. It's like sneaking who you are. Uh, but with that being said, accountability requires you to first say, "I don't want to," and then to not to, and then if you do, then hold yourself accountable. What's the penalty based on yourself? And then the structure you put on yourself to avoid whatever it was that you went against your own accountability. Uh, so you got faith, accountability, and the C is for community. And over the last especially the last year, but it's been a lifetime thing. My family's been a family of service, uh, from my grandfather to my father to my grandmother, everybody. We serve. And what it is to serve, and I don't mean in a slavery kinda way. I mean in a can you be of service to somebody? Can you help somebody? Can you show up when they need you, whatever that means. But especially within this last year, especially with my church, me and Michelle, we've been serving on Saturdays, second Saturday of every month. And I won't say every month, but we've been joining church Saturday as we can. A lot of times I have to work. But even when we're not doing that, other parts of other groups I'm in, we offer our time and our talent to give back to, especially like in the church, serving on the safety team, Michelle serves on the clubhouse. I'm working with the little kids to help them be on task within our shared faith. But just serving people, giving money to the homeless, or spending your time, or helping somebody who's in need, driving somebody somewhere, helping somebody with a babysitter. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Y'all share in the comments how y'all serve people. What are some ways that people can help? What are some ways that you do that you may not normally share? But I'm asking you to put it in the comments because it might spark some idea, it might inspire somebody to, oh, I never thought of that. Let me I know, one of the homies in the comments here that's watching, oftentimes serves through providing food and money to the homeless. Never talked about it, and I went ahead and said it because I know he's not gonna tell y'all. But salute to him for doing those kinds of things because he got it. Somebody's in need, and he show up for them. And how do you show up for the people around you, your community? T is for teaching. Now, teaching goes it's a two-way street. First of all, the teaching part is the part where the person has the knowledge, shares it with somebody who don't. And the other side is where somebody don't have the knowledge and they sit there and listen and learn. I'm not saying I have the knowledge, but I'm pretty smart. I like to think myself pretty smart, but even with that, I'm pursuing knowledge every day, whether it be within this Bible or a book I've read already this year. I think I read about 6, maybe 7 books, and I say read, Audible, whatever. I'm an auditory learner. So, I've been going through some deep books, some faith-based, some knowledge-based, stats-based, whatever, but teaching, learning, be on either side of that. What do you know where you can help somebody else? Even in my workspace, I found that I hear you, Jake, um, and we're gonna talk about weak points. Thanks for reminding me. I don't know if I told you that, but salute to the alley you just tossed. But what I was gonna say is teaching and learning. Like as a manager, I pour my time into helping my employees and and building them up in a way that can keep them or bring them up to my level. There's a lot of knowledge that gets passed on. There's conversations where I think maybe a month ago in the smaller group chat I have with the homies, I was asking them about some housing stuff because 3 of the 4 of us in that group, and I'm the one that don't, owns their house. And I was asking them about the process. What does it look like? What are the pitfalls? What are the speed bumps? And that's just them just passing off what they know, and in a lot of ways, I do the same for them. But anyway, teaching and learning. And the last one in the FACTS principle is that it's self-care. Self-care can show up in many forms, um, and those forms look a lot different to other people. For some people, it's therapy. For others, it's gym therapy. Uh, you got people that go to the spa, you get your nails done, beautification type things. You got people who take time apart, relaxation, meditation, uh, or even like some outside activities, walking some trails, walking the river walk, whatever you do to provide yourself with that self care. And this is something I haven't necessarily. I wouldn't say that I need it, but the people around me who partake in these various formats, they say it does wonders for their life. And I don't, whatever age you are, from teenage, you start getting those stresses of the world, college apps, and that kind of stuff, all the way up to wherever you at. Uh, Almost 40 myself. That taking time for yourself keeps you in a way. A lot of ways, those other principles can help you get that too. But it really does help you keep rejuvenating or recharge you for the next round, whatever it is you're trying to do. Uh, so for some people, they hit a goal, they get a little celebration off. Some people, it's a cheat meal. Whatever you do for self care, that's not my forte per se. But self care is self explanatory. So with those facts in mind, faith, accountability, community, teaching, and self care, I've been pretty steady in my growth. It's hyper growth in this last year. And this is something I talked to my son about and a few others about too. That I think can help. I don't know. Y'all tell me what do y'all think of my facts principle? Uh, it's something to be added to it now. It's gonna mess up the acronym, but I'm cool with that. But if it's a part of the process and it helps us grow, then let's do it. With that said, going forward in the unfinished work show, there will be various, lost my at the door. I mean, okay. There'll be we'll do this through various formats. Some of them will be monologue straight. I just wanted to get this introduction off. But some of them will be monologue like this, where I bring something to y'all, tell y'all about something I learned this week. The show will be on every Thursday at 7. What I learned this week, what I've encountered, maybe we can react to some videos. I get a lot of motivational videos in my news feed. Oh, that brings me back to self-care real quick. One thing I had to do to keep my focus and make sure I wasn't getting off my path was clean up my timeline. My timeline was wild, and I don't have to tell you. You can go listen to the last few episodes of Pour Up and know what was happening over there. But I really had to go through and unfollow and block or whatever it is I had to do to get certain things off my timeline 'cause, um, it was ridiculous, and what it looks like now is totally different. It's actually Steve. Steve commented, "Let him get a feature. He feels unfinished." Steve, definitely, bro. I would love to have you on, but that does bring me back to my point. After I cleaned up my timeline, and I uninstalled Twitter altogether. But Instagram, I cleaned it up. It's a lot of motivation, a lot of faith, a lot of there's some sports and some comedy, but for the most part, it's nothing that's gonna get me off what I'm trying to do. And anyway, that was just a quick little tidbit back to self care. But what I'm saying, the show, unfinished work, is gonna be monologue, information. We're gonna do some react videos. We're gonna talk about some things that might interest me or y'all. It's not about me. It's about the community that we're gonna build here. Um, but to Steve's point, I am going to have a guest maybe once a month. I would say it's the interview, but it won't be an interview. It's gonna be a conversation, and we can chop it up and talk about what motivates you. And, yeah, Steve, how could I not have Steve Passion, that's my bro. Different book of poems. I have no idea where you're going with that. Um, this man. But anyway, we're gonna do this thing in whatever way keeps y'all comfortable. I would love in the future. I'm not gonna do it today, but in the future, I would love to send out that link. Drop in this thing. Get some panels, get some people discussing. Maybe y'all can interact. And I can just, I don't know. What do y'all want in a show like this? Motivation and accountability on the Unfinished Work Show. I think that's gonna be it. Unless actually, I want to open up a quick space for any questions. Anybody got anything for me? And I say that reluctantly, knowing Steve does something crazy. But anything for me that y'all want to share or ask, I'll answer. I'm a pretty open book. Is but I'll give that a second while I check some of the um, so a little bit of so right now, most of you, I believe, are watching on YouTube, but we are also streaming on Twitch. Twitch is an entire new world. I don't know what's happening over there, but we're gonna find out. It's the live stream app, and we're also streaming on Discord, where we should be. If I turn it back on, I did not. That's crazy. My bad. Okay, we're streaming on Discord now. So yeah, we're streaming on Twitch and Discord, but YouTube is gonna be the home front. The conversation will keep going throughout the week on Discord. This is an interesting app. Some good community people over there. The show that I do, I co-host with my man, her name right here. Bear the Image is a Christian podcast or Christian server on Discord, but it's also a podcast. A lot of Muslims being there talking. It's a real interesting space. These people really be using Discord. It's like an entirely different space to anything else I've done, and I'm sure most of you probably haven't experienced it since we all pretty much talk. I never heard anyone talk about Discord. So let me move up. Yeah. Any questions? I got nothing. I'm really surprised I didn't get any nonsense from Steve. But seriously, if y'all got any comments or questions, in fact, I think some of you may even have some endeavors that can help people in certain categories. I know fitness comes to mind, but there's some people. One of my homies wrote a book. That's crazy. Maybe we'll get her on if she got the time for you, boy. She's worked with us on the Pour Up before, but we'll see. We got people in different spaces. We got a Bible study every Wednesday. That's pretty cool. That'll help you with the faith aspect of facts. And really, I'm just grasping at straws at this point. I don't really have anything else. I just wanted to reiterate in case people missed it at the beginning that I'm holding myself accountable for what I call an unsuccessful overall mission with the Pour Up and Shit Division Media, but one that was successful in a lot of ways. We hit a lot of our targets and a lot of our goals, had a lot of fun doing it. But when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. And you'll see on here with me at different points and get to hear from their side, how they motivate themselves and how do we all keep each other accountable. So let me check my notes and make sure there wasn't nothing else. Yeah, I think that's good. And I appreciate everybody who jumped in and supported or anybody who's gonna watch on playback. Hopefully next week things go a little smoother with the whole internet situation. Stupid D job with computer was uploading files and taking its time and stealing all the bandwidth. My bad for that. But again, if you didn't at the beginning, anybody who's here, hit the like button for me. It really does help with the algorithm. It tells the YouTube bot or whatever that people are watching, not just from views, but they also interacting. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I am Mike Lake. You can find me everywhere at I am Mike Lake, or you could just hit me direct on 365 Arrest. What up? Um, you can find this show anywhere, Unfinished Work Show, at Unfinished Work Show on all the everywheres. If y'all wanna jump in the Discord server, shoot me a direct message or a message here in the YouTube, and I'll get the Discord server over to you, and, let's grow this thing, and I appreciate y'all for supporting. Out.